to uncover what appears to be a culture of corruption in Dayton area politics.
When the FBI unveiled its first indictments, some people were very skeptical.
And I just cannot believe anything scandalous about any of them.
Already, though, one of the targets has pled guilty to mail fraud. The others remain scheduled for trial.
Our I-Team investigation now is taking a closer look at investigations like this. They could be years in the making. We're learning about the techniques used by the FBI to collect evidence and why somebody involved might think they could get away with it.
Electronic surveillance, physical searches, GPS surveillance, confidential human sources, undercover operations.
Pete Davis of Oakwood is a former attorney in intelligence with the U.S. Justice Department of Washington. He says with the court's permission, the FBI has a very sophisticated array of investigative tools that they can use, including using the signal from your cell phone. They could track your travels by GPS, see where you're going and when, plus who you're meeting with if that other person is also on the FBI's radar.
The government has very powerful and intrusive techniques for criminal, counterintelligence, counterterrorism investigations.
Court records obtained by the I-Team show the federal investigation goes back to at least 2017. Looking at written and electronic communications, vouchers, checks, reports, agreements, and bank records. Mike Kreitz is a former Dayton resident and for 7 years was a federal prosecutor. He's now in private practice. He says cases like this take so long because they're very complex, some with 1 million documents. I asked him if targets of a federal probe get wind of their records being sought, what's it like for them, especially if they haven't been charged yet?
It's hell for them because they don't know how long it's going to go on. I mean, can you imagine waking up every morning not knowing whether an indictment's going to be returned and whether or not somebody's going to come knocking on your door and put you in handcuffs and take you down to the federal court?
In the Dayton case, the people did appear to be shocked by the charges against them. Public corruption cases in recent Dayton history have been rare. Kreitz says, though, there has been more emphasis on it by the FBI lately. If there was so much wrongdoing at City Hall, why wasn't it uncovered earlier by regular audits?
And I would always say if somebody's got larceny in their heart, they're going to steal from you.
State Auditor Keith Faber says regular audits only look at a sample of transactions. The I-Team found in Dayton's case, the city even bragged in 2016 saying, quote, State Auditor confirms clean audit for City of Dayton.
Most of what we do is to make sure the policies and procedures are in place to make it difficult to steal and likely certain that you're going to get caught eventually.
With so much information on contracts and spending readily available at city halls, county governments, even the State House, why would somebody think they could take money or cut corners to benefit themselves and get away with it?
Those people are just, I hate to say it, they're just bad people.
I truly believe there's some people who think they're smarter than the federal government and the Department of Justice. No, really, they really think that they can pull it off.
And what's happened to the 4 people charged in the first round of indictments? Former State Representative Clayton Luckey, who did 3 years in prison earlier for theft from his own campaign funds, has pled guilty to mail fraud.
Mr. Winburn, can we talk to you?
Rashawn Winburn was fired from his job with the city, which paid nearly $85,000 a year. He and the others, Brian Higgins and former Commissioner Joey Williams, have entered not guilty pleas. They're all awaiting trial. Faber says those cases should serve as an example to other cities and counties that transparency in government can help prevent illegal activity. Kreitz adds anybody caught up in a corruption case will be up against a lot because the feds take this very seriously.
They're very zealous, very deliberative, very cautious, very fair, in my estimation, having been on both sides. They're not going to stop. They've got the resources of Uncle Sam. I mean, they can print more money if they need it for more assistance and more agents.
Clayton Luckey's case likely will come to a conclusion at the federal courthouse in November. That's what he's scheduled to return for sentencing. In Dayton, Jim Oddie, News Center 7.